So the most recent chapter of One Piece involved Vegapunk starting to reveal a few things about the Void Century. He talked about how he committed 2 sins and that he flew too close to the sun. In chapter 1114, it was titled The Wings of Icarus, in reference to the story of Greek mythology. I really do like anytime a series makes reference to the Wings of Icarus, because I think that you could utilize the lesson from that story, and it honestly applies to any and everyone. Like, another series that made reference to this story was Full Metal Alchemist. In the context, Ed was talking to a girl who believed in some god that would bring back her lover, but if you look at it a little bit deeper, Ed was also talking about himself, how he tried to play God, and because of that, Alphonse lost his body and Ed lost his arm and his leg. And the biggest lesson from this story, well, there's a lot of different terminology that could be used, but if you want to know what I got from it, I would say not to necessarily be blinded by your greed or chase heights that you aren't meant to reach, because in that and being too ambitious, you could suffer devastating consequences. But the reason I decided to make this video is because I wanted to address my feelings for Vegapunk. I don't love him, but I also don't hate him as a character. I'm very indifferent. I do think that he was blinded by his love for science, and that's why he suffered the fate that he currently has in the story. But in this video, I wanted to talk about why Vegapunk went down the path that he did, the repercussions that it caused for him, and the implication it has for the rest of the story. But if you guys enjoy regular anime content, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. With that away, my name is Potential Unleashed, and let's talk about how Vegapunk flew too close to the sun. We know that One Piece, it is a series that is based upon dreams, and Vegapunk, he is not an exception. He has 2 dreams, and I think one definitely has been highlighted more and weighs more than the other, but the first one is more of a long-term thing that involves the Punk records. He wants the Punk records to be updated on a regular basis, creating an entire sea of knowledge, and humanity will be able to share a brain. This is essentially Vegapunk trying to create the internet. But his other dream that's been highlighted more throughout the arc involves creating a world in which energy is abundant, available, and free to everyone around the globe, and this is part of why Vegapunk has a bit of regret that was exposed in chapter 1114. Which brings me to talking about Vegapunk and his 2 sins in chapter 1114. As I mentioned earlier, Vegapunk dreamt for a source of endless eternal energy to push the world forward into the future, which he did by creating the Mother Flame. However, that energy source is going to be used to destroy life, and we saw this happen with Lelouch. The Mother Flame is the power source of the weapon that can destroy islands, cause earthquakes, and even change the tides, hence why his greed and ambitions caused the deaths and inconvenienced a lot of people. This ties back to Vegapunk's version of flying too close to the sun. You could also relate Vegapunk flying too close to the sun with Dragon and his second sin, and that sin was him conducting research on the poneglyphs and learning about the Void Century, including the battle between the ancient kingdom and the world government, and also Joy Boy that he was the first ever pirate. We know the reason why the missing history is a thing is because the world government is hiding something that would paint them as the bad guys, meaning that they're corrupt, and Vegapunk's greed for knowledge caused him to be in this situation. Because if you look back at the Kuma flashback, how much Kuma and Bonnie were mistreated, and the different weapons the world government forced Vegapunk to make, he did all of this because they had money for him to conduct his research. But did Vegapunk really think that these individuals, that they weren't corrupt and they wouldn't take advantage of his genius? I also think, and this isn't something exclusive to the One Piece story, I think people need to realize just because you have access to something doesn't necessarily mean that you need to always take advantage of it. A lot of times you see different people, they try and take shortcuts to get ahead, and in doing so they miss out on different blessings that'll be bestowed upon them in the long run. For example, look at Vegapunk's reason for declining Dragon's invitation. In chapter 1066, we got a flashback between Dragon and Vegapunk, where Dragon called Vegapunk a lapdog and claimed that he was too good to join the freedom fighters, where Vegapunk stated, "What would my intellect and expertise achieve within an impoverished military force like yours?" Essentially, Vegapunk saying that the reason he didn't join Dragon, even though he doesn't agree with the world government, was because they were poor. Rather than helping people, Vegapunk, he decided to join people that were corrupt. And like the revolutionaries now, they have a lot more money than when they were originally the freedom fighters. Definitely not as much as the world government, because oh my gosh, they can just throw money and you can just build pacifists that cost the price of a warship. But Vegapunk, if he truly wanted to create such a good world, even if it would take longer, he should have joined the revolutionaries, because when you look at it, by working with the world government, Vegapunk has caused a lot of people pain. And I want to give him a little bit of credit, because I'm not going to sit up here and lie and say that Vegapunk hasn't 100% helped other people. We saw it, how he was able to save Bonnie from her sapphire scales, but at the same time, his different weapons has outweighed so much of the good that he's done, hence why he's kind of reaped what he sowed, in the fact that he got struck through the heart by Saturn and also shot in the chest by Kizaru. To me, this is kind of similar to where different series, the main antagonists, they turn good towards the end, however they're killed. Look at what happened with the Star Wars franchise with Kylo Ren and Darth Vader, because after all the bad that they've done, all the deaths that they've caused, it would be a little bit weird for them to be alive and living a happy life. As I mentioned earlier, Vegapunk, he sorta atoned for his sins with his death, as well as revealing to the world that it is about to sink into the ocean, and a little bit about the Void Century. In doing this, it'll reveal some things that the world government doesn't want to be brought to light, hence why the Gores say they even appeared on Egghead to prevent the broadcast, and why throughout the arc they look a little bit flustered and panicked. With the state of how the world is, with more countries joining the Revolutionary Army's cause, with Sabo becoming the Flame Emperor, if this secret is revealed, the world government will be in deep trouble, and Vegapunk will be the one who planted the seed that will start the final war. I just want to say that I do not hate Vegapunk one bit. I know this video, it kind of sounded like I was hating on him. I don't. I do think that he's only book smart and he's not very street smart, because his rationale for joining the world government, I just don't get it. But at the same time, this takes me back to what Zoro said at the Baratier when Sanji made fun of his dream, when he talked about, you don't have the right to make fun of it, I decided to do it and I'll give my life to it. So Vegapunk wanted to achieve creating energy for the entire world. He tried his best and he joined the world government in order to achieve that dream. However, it was at the cost of his life, but hey, he was able to try his best to go for what he wanted to achieve. But let me know how you guys feel about Vegapunk, what he's done, and if you like him or not. Like I said, personally, I'm indifferent about him. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. It's on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.